Hotep Senu Hena Senut Iti Ren Ishakandugu Kemet. I hope you are doing well. Let me check the sound. Sounds beautiful. That's good. Hold on. The title of this video is Questions and Answer. Should I put an S? I'll modify that. Free talk. Let's go. Is therefore self-explanatory. Well, I'll wait for people to get on the panel. I'm going to continue reviewing the comments on the Saneta's video where I was a guest. Hotep King, I don't know if it's large enough. How does it look? Yes, it's okay like that. Hotep King wrote, Kemet wins again. Imhotep 360 replied, that's the only gate they can't kick down, and they're mad. Lamont Hart wrote, Lullaby is delusional. Kirk Harris wrote, Lord Abba and Shaka, good debate. Now, Shaka with two Ks, that's Shaka Ahmos. My name is spelled only with one K. And for those that don't know, the name that I have chosen for myself is Shaka Ndugu Kemet. Actually, you have it at the top there. Now, my Art Forever is the name of my channel. Severin Cornelius wrote Scholarship. Oh, I think I went through that comment yesterday. Jabal El Tariq wrote Ankh M Ma'at. Obviously, there are some comments that I'm skipping. I don't really know what Tahaka Heru was trying to say, but he wrote, what's funny, Egyptian ancient manuscripts are in museums, but the Bible is in everyone's car and homes and on the ground, school bags, etc., etc. Norma X wrote, I have to think of checking the software to make sure that I can see the comments and that I can see if anybody's on the panel. Don't be shy to take this opportunity, because we always have a lot of Twitter fingers. They are so deep and thorough with the Twitter fingering, but we don't see them, we don't hear them. Now, even if you don't have much to say, feel free to holler, just to come and say hello. That's a good look. Also, it's been a while I didn't say this, but remember to hit that like button. It helps. So Narmer X wrote, Shaka's all right, but he acts like only European sources are valid. I vehemently disagree with that. I don't know where that comes from, but you see, people usually find something to say. For example, I have shared Anthony Browder's book, page 170 and 171, if I'm not mistaken, Nine Valid Contribution to Civilization. I have quoted other scholars, Dr. Diop, Dr. Obenga, Dr. Ben. But anyway, scholarship doesn't have any color. ill ones wrote. Does he take the whole page here? Yes, he does. Okay. So, all right. He wrote, so that argument I always hear about how Roman census writes about Jesus or whatever is not correct. So I told him, whenever someone makes a claim, particularly a significant one, then just ask him or her to back it up. People claim all sorts of things. For 3 hours straight, everybody and their mama made claims. I meant to write, I meant to write, but, but they haven't shown anything. And he replied, appreciate it, brother. Love the knowledge and thirst for knowledge being shared. J.R.R. wrote, stop talking about it if you can't prove it. Napa, you should know better. And you're very good at switch people's. Yeah, I think I read that one. Now, this lady, Forever Food, wrote, peeing matches between grown men is lame. I don't know if sometimes, we have more feminists that we will expect. Chuck Morgan wrote, the standard of Ur does not depict the Gudians of the Sahara Mountains. That is false. You should check out Chuck Morgan's channel and watch his presentation about the ethnicity of the Sumerians. But when you show depictions of people of the Levant, of Asiatics, and I'm talking about ancient depictions, depictions from antiquity. Sometimes people like to say, "Oh, those are invaders." Okay, all right. So apparently, depictions of people from the Near East, the Levant, and all that, it just doesn't exist. Just like the Moors, people claim that the Moors, and when I was talking with Lord Alba, actually in the first place, I talked about Moorish rulers in Europe, but then when you repeat the same thing so often, you might miss a word or two. So he ended up being just Moorish rulers, period. But they talk about all these Moors who ruled Europe. So we have so many depictions of Moorish people, but nobody cared about painting the rulers. Isn't that strange? I've said it years ago. The Moorish narrative from the MSCA and all the people who are not temple Moors is one of the greatest hoax of the conscious community. But you've noticed, brothers and sisters, we don't really hear about the Moors anymore, do we? Even Lord Abba himself said, that he's ready to come out of retirement. He went on retirement, doesn't fly anymore. Barry wrote, Pastor Bennett is in Bloomington. That's not Chicago. Chuck Morgan is corrected that he meant Zagos Mountain. DJH Soul. Let me see if there's somebody. No, somebody. I'm sorry. DJH Soul wrote, Shakanugu came in claiming to not know of branding in ancient Egypt is just disingenuous. Now it's so funny. I'm saying I'm not aware of something and I'm labeled disingenuous, but oh, where is it here? Yep spoke of branding during the reign of Ramesses III. We know the Mitanni and Sea people were cartouched, branded. So being cartouche is being branded now. Their names were taken from them. We know that Libyan captives were stripped of their language. The ancient Egyptians practiced a form of proto chattel slavery minus the racism. No source, no quote, no record. I saw a dragon 3 weeks ago. Esoteric Esoteric Wheeze wrote. So Yara, according to your own logic, you are not a student of the Bible because you cannot and do not know everything about the Bible. You and Reg make the worst arguments. It was, in my opinion, a very poor argument when Yara claimed that I wasn't that deep or knowledgeable when it comes to Kemet, as if an individual is supposed to know about every single thing from Kemet. There are just too many texts, and I'm talking about original texts. I'm not even talking about the copies for one human being to know. And indeed, that's a good observation. It's as if somebody would ask Yara, well, are you familiar with that passage of the Bible? And if you happens not to know it, then you're gonna say, oh well, you're not that deep, you're not that serious. But anyway, we have 15 people online. How many lives do we have? Where's the streaming? I'm gonna go there. Only 4 likes. It is what it is. Well, for the record, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Now, Mazi Naniya wrote, Gilgamesh is not Kemetic. And indeed, Jason said that it wasn't Kemetic. I mentioned the Gilgamesh epic at one point, but that was um, in relation with the flood story. Now, what I'm going to do now is go through the comments of the last video. Oh, actually, no. Yes, indeed, yes. And then if nobody's there, then I'm gonna go through the chat of the videos. So on that one, we have 46 comments. Actually, that video about the Medu Neter class, it has, as you can see, 10,000 views now. In 2 days, that's all right. See? The other one has the one that we just seen. Well, it has 13,000 views so far. We'll have 533 likes for that video. So I want to make sure that it fits the screen. Oh, JJ 7,000. Please use your webcam, brother, please. What's up, JJ?
Hey, peace and blessings, man. How you doing over here?
Blessings. I'm chilling. How about yourself?
Just checking up on you, man. You
Is
know, getting all this
your
attention.
webcam, brother?
Hey, since JJ introduced you to the world over there, everybody been talking, man.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a good thing for you. It's a good
Yes.
thing.
It's,
You
yes.
got a couple brothers that's jealous because you was getting all them cash apps.
Oh,
You know, that ain't nothing to get jealous about. But
yeah.
now Reggie
JJ,
seems not
I'm sorry. Is there
take
any
that.
chance you can
Oh,
use a
go ahead, man.
webcam,
Go ahead. Go
brother?
ahead.
Yeah.
Huh?
Is there any chance you can use like the webcam?
Oh yeah. Hold up.
Yeah.
Let me
Thanks.
let
Thanks a
me
lot.
put a shirt on real quick. Hold up,
Yeah.
man.
Of
I'm in
course.
my
Of course.
house.
Yeah. Yeah. No problem. No problem. Take your time, brother.
You know, I
We
want to
have 19.
intimidate you.
Yeah. We have
You
19
know,
people, only
hold
6
up.
likes, but it is what it is.
Yeah, let me grab my shirt.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. For those that don't know, the link to get on the panel is on the chat. It is pinned, which means that it remains at the top. So you have it there. It's the second link. All you have to do is click on it. You can use your smartphone, you can use your tablet, you can use your PC. And indeed, my requirement is that people show their face. Thanks a lot, brother.
Right,
Feel
bro.
free to speak, brother.
Yeah. So, Reggie didn't want to take that debate. Garfield had a nervous breakdown. It was bad.
Garfield's been banging at Jabari for more than about 2 years. Going at other people, making fun of other people. Baba
Right.
Heru and Fadishi, and and
Yeah.
and I just asked for his degree, and the dude is like, crying in the car. So weak. Oh,
Hey,
are you
Sarnetta,
weak?
you gonna let him talk about me like this? Sarnetta! Hold on, 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 hold on. I'm like, what is he doing? What do you mean, hold up? Let go. Answer the question, god dang it.
Oh, I showed him a degree. I showed him that degree, but show us. Man, you probably show some Photoshop stuff, man.
You know, Sarnetta ain't wasn't paying no attention to no fine details, man. Sarnetta probably, oh, okay, and he didn't really observe it.
Well,
That's what
if you
happened.
know if you know somebody, you kind of trust the person, so you're gonna presume that he's correct. But
Right.
um, no, the guy is fraudulent, and I mean it's not the end of the world. You can just say, okay, well, you can say psych. I was joking. That's a good way to get out of there, but it's just
Yeah.
it's just so funny. It's just so funny, and
He's disingenuous, man. You
mhm.
know, for him to act that emotional, it must be some truth to it.
Yeah,
You know.
there's obviously some things that he's hiding, but some things will come into the light because when he came on my platform regarding that degrees, like I don't remember verbatim, but he talks about he doesn't want people to know his middle name, so something that just doesn't make sense at all. I mean, the
What?
guy is a public figure, and and he has a book, he's not anonymous, but I'm not even tripping on that. I was like, let's cut the chase, you know show us your degree, or I don't have time for what he's talking about now.
Or just say you lied and move on, bro.
And move on. Yeah, you can move on. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I was capping at the time, trying to impress y'all, but I got a confession, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. Why keep covering up the lie and layering it? You know?
he probably followed his master teacher Hassan Mofek, because Hassan Mofek stated publicly that he was a historian and a linguist. But Hassan Mofek
Yeah.
didn't go as far as saying I have a degree in such and such field. When it is not the case. He just claimed the
Wow.
title. Now Garfield claimed the degree. And he did it publicly. You know what I'm saying? So, oh
Yeah.
man,
Now
yeah.
I do have someone,
Hmm.
Elder Yara.
Hmm.
He would like to challenge you all to a discussion or a debate on the Canaanites being. You said they were Europeans, right?
No, this is one thing
Yeah,
that
clear that
a
up
lot,
for me,
a lot,
family. Go ahead.
yeah, a lot of people in America use the term European, and I understand that a lot of time people mean people of European descent. But basically, my stance is that the Canaanites were Caucasians, or plainly
Caucasians.
white. Yeah. My,
So,
my, my
oh,
my
so
stance is that they were not black.
right. So, would you come on Lions Den and have that discussion with him?
Oh, no, on Lions Den. But I mean, like I told Sanetta, I will need to get paid, to go on some
Come
debate.
on, man. We need to
Yes,
pay.
yes,
You can't.
yes.
You can't. You got to do
I
this for
mean,
the people, bro.
well, I've been doing this for the people for 18 years, you know, and I've been watching liars, plagiarizers, getting major paper over the years, being
Right.
disrespectful, and I'm like, I have to respect myself. You know what I'm saying? I have to respect my time. So, however, when I'm live streaming, I don't
Well,
know. Maybe you can
and
call
look,
him
look, look,
now.
look.
Maybe you can call him now and tell him to come on. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, he's on live right now. He's on this channel live.
Oh, okay, 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 all right.
Yeah. But I could bring him through. But bro, you come through and visit my channel.
Mm,
More people will see it, and then you can help promote your channel. You see?
mm.
You know. Hey, how long you been knowing Chris Harris? Let me ask you that.
Oh, well, probably a couple of years or something like that. Maybe three.
Couple years, right?
Yeah.
And
But
and then
I hope you're not gonna try to
you
diss him
know, yeah,
again.
I'm
Like,
gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone.
yeah.
But it's just that some people don't try to help elevate others and don't want to
But
see others do better than them.
you mean with the
That's not in
information?
my
You mean with the
huh?
information? Do you mean with the information?
With the information, personality wise, shine wise,
Mm.
they want to be the
Because
top.
so far, well, wanting to be the top is nothing wrong with that. But um, don't you agree
Okay?
that Chris Harris shows sources, that he backs up what he's saying? Don't you agree with that?
No,
Mm.
I don't. I don't know what debate you be watching, but
Well,
what I'm saying to you,
the one with Zion Lex, for example.
that debate was way. It was off.
But he
It was
won.
like it was off
And
because it wasn't going on the topic of the audience didn't even know what was going on. So I couldn't really judge that debate fairly, to be honest. But Vocab Malone whooped his ass.
oh, I wouldn't say so. Oh, you're frozen right now. I don't know if you can hear me, but
Oh,
I'm
there
gonna
you go.
wait.
Sorry about that.
Okay, okay, okay. No, no problem, no problem.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say so. I mean, for Cab Malone, he's amusing to me. He's amusing to me. I mean, if he wants to holler, he can holler, but he's
I can make that
overconfident.
happen.
All right, yeah, he can holler. To me, he's amusing. He's overconfident, and he reminds me of do you know Sam Shamoon?
I know I never met him.
Yeah, he's a guy. And I'm not sure exactly what his background is. Um, like which country he's from. Because I don't think he was born in the U.S. He was once a member of the Nation of Islam, and I found out late about that. And he's a Christian apologist. And I don't even know if he's still active, but for a while he was quite known. Um, and he had a debate with someone called the surname is Ashby. Is a Muslim of Indian background, or well, Indian, maybe
Never
I don't know
heard
if
of
he's
him,
Pakistan,
so
but he's a Muslim who actually studied Christianity, and he earned his PhD. So he's very knowledgeable about the Bible. And when they had their debate, every so often Sam Shamoon, maybe I'm mispronouncing his surname, he would just give him some notes, like some little, not really booklets, but like some pages, stapled together, and say, "Oh, this is an article about that theme. Really, this is an article about that theme. Really." And at one point, Ashby, Sally Ashby, I think his name is. He told him, you have to stop giving me those stuff, like. But anyway,
hey,
Vocab
listen,
Malone, if he wants to
is,
holler, then we can talk.
is polite? Do you think polite's a big name to debate? Even I mean, before the scandal, right? Before the
Oh, but
scandal.
hold on. You said that I asked you to debate. I forgot who you said. Like, I don't recall that.
Huh?
You said
I,
that I asked you to debate some people, or
yeah,
like,
you said, hey, can you set me up with Vocab Malone or any debates? I'm like, well, yeah.
I
Like,
don't,
it's
well, I don't
okay.
recall saying that. I don't recall
Yeah.
saying that.
Hey,
But
listen, bro.
but
Hey,
but
once JJ put it. Hey, listen. Once JJ put in a word for you, man. Hey,
you're
thumbs
you're
up, man.
you're that deep in the street.
Hey,
But
and then you know what you
polite.
said? It's ironic. You said it's ironic that an
Yeah, that it
Israelite
was
got
a
me over
Hebrew Israelite recommended me to Saneda. Yes.
because that's what I do, man. I reckon. You know Tahuti? That was one of my debaters. Commission. Those, and I got Israelite debaters. I'm saying, but
Mm,
if you're a good debater, you got good information. I don't care what you represent. Just put on a good show for the people,
mm,
and if try to entertain and educate at the same time, man.
mm.
I debated
And
all the top debaters:
hmm
Polite,
what
Tazariak, Pastor Bennett,
hmm
Black Jesus Minister, Sebastian Cole, Judah Nash. I mean, I went through the whole list.
hmm So
You
so
see what I'm saying?
Pastor Bennett actually has a church.
Yeah, in Bloomington, Illinois. Yep.
Yeah,
He's
but
actually me and him. We kind of from the same area.
all right, all
Yeah,
right. But Bloomington is like which state?
that's in Illinois. Illinois.
Oh, okay,
It's
okay, okay. Okay.
Bloomington is probably like maybe 2 hours away from Chicago,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
maybe two and a half. Yeah. So it's in
And
Illinois.
does he share like footage from his church?
He used when me and him debated. He used some footage of him passing out some food one time, and then he used some footage of him protesting with his
Mm-hmm.
people. So he's active. I will give him that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's very
Mm-hmm.
active. I think he's a good brother. I don't have anything personal against Pastor Bennett.
Well, I don't
I
have
have nothing
anything
personal.
personal against him either. You know,
Yeah.
same with Hebrews or like so Abrahamic people. It's like really the scholarship or the information. But yeah, keep going, brother. Keep going.
So who you want vocab Malone, huh?
No, I don't want anybody. I mean, anyone who wants to have a discussion, I'm fine with that. But really,
Well, hey,
Walter
look,
Williams, I would have
if
liked to
you
have
want to
this.
get paid, you want to get paid to debate that topic. Then if you're gonna get paid, I'm gonna get paid. And that means I'm gonna debate you. I ain't never got paid on a certain other debate. I never asked really, But if he
Well, you
paying,
should. You should. I mean, at least the
I
like
put
the Cash App and PayPal. Because some
yeah,
people, some people they understand that it's important to support when people come out and give the information. I mean, Garfield. I think you're aware of that. Garfield paid Richard Carrier, to go against Jabari. So he probably paid some other people, because
yeah,
I don't know how he got all these PhDs when he had this, I don't know, that monthly stuff, like weekly
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And
He pay him.
yeah,
But then you know what's funny is a lot of times he try to get them to agree with his bull stuff, and they be telling him like, "You can't pay me enough to lie on that one. That would I got credibility,
he got
man.
a
I ain't fooling with you,
reputation, man.
Garfield. Oh man, Garfield a mess.
Oh man.
Yeah,
But Garfield, unfortunately, he was just hyped up a little bit too much by his cheerleader groupies. Like
yep.
that chick Tamika.
Oh, she
Every
trolls
time,
me all the
yeah.
time.
Oh, hold on. We have Chris Harris, your best friend. What's up?
Hey, she trolls me all the time.
So, what up,
Everywhere.
Shaka? What's up, Shaka?
Well, hold on, JJ. Stay with us, JJ. What's up, Chris Harris? How you doing, MVP? Chris
Yeah,
Harris,
what's
how you
going
doing?
on? Yeah, man, I've been listening to you since you went live, and I said, let's do a countdown to this gentleman in the middle here mentions my name. And what does he do? He mentions my name and says, I don't try to build you up. When me and you've been knowing each other, 3-4 years now? So, you've been to my platform, and you gotta mute him. You gotta mute him. You gotta mute him.
Just
Yeah, he is Israelite. You got to mute him. And what's the first thing I always say when you used to come to my show when it was 70, 80 people watching? What did I always say? Go subscribe and do what? Click the link and check out my man, Brother Shaka. He teaches Medu Neter classes. But
Okay, well, I take that back, Chris.
But since we're here, cool. But since we're here, I want to do
Should have brought him on
something.
though.
If he wants to come on Side Hunter, he could have came on there. He was familiar with him, and I didn't have to bring him anywhere. He's an
You
adult.
didn't brag on him?
Okay, let's go here for a minute, and I want to go to my YouTube page right quick. Let's go to my YouTube page, and I want to pull something up because you left a comment, and I want to challenge you on this right now, live on air. Since you commented on it, and I want to show everybody what you said about the debate me and Yara had, and I'm going to show you how incoherent your argument is right now. So let's do my channel.
And then after that, you're gonna answer my question, right?
Yeah, sure. If it's coherent and it's understood.
No,
yes.
coherent is knowing the difference between a Jew and Yehuda.
Okay.
And you sat up there and embraced their premise. Said, I know there's Jews in Israel. Africa. I need to see Israelites. Well, Jew, the etymology of Jew is Yahuta, which is a tribe of Israel.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Sure. Okay. So what he just produced there Right there is an etymological fallacy. And it leads to what we call, excuse me, I'm talking. And what it leads to is what we call a no true Scotsman fallacy. He's trying to say that the definition that he's using and he supports.
No, that you're using.
See, there we go. You got to be quiet. That's the thing. You guys lack you guys lack a lot.
I'll come back when you got somebody who got some sense.
Okay.
JJ, you
He can't do it.
Look, he already
can't
ran
do
from
it.
me. Look, I'm gonna show the video where this nigga ran from. How about that? You
Okay.
want to put up videos, nigga? Hey, he ran from me 3 times.
Well, you know.
You ain't been worthy, bro. Don't call my name. You called my house.
JJ.
Did you forget?
That's a good opportunity. It's
That's what I'm saying. This dude been on you for 3
Okay,
years.
so
He
one more
wanna
time,
raise
I
you
want
up.
y'all to show y'all something. Notice now what he's doing. Hey, you gotta
Now, what
mute
you
him.
doing is trying to
Notice
say
what he's
things
doing
that
now.
I
He's
ain't gonna
hollering
let you
about
talk.
somebody ran
Guess
from
what?
him
I'm
in
not
a
gonna let you
debate.
talk.
Hold on,
Guess what? I'm not gonna let you come on here and talk and do nothing.
This
I was
is
on here
ridiculous.
first. You're not gonna come over here and take over tonight. You're an idiot. You don't know the definition of a Jew. A Jew is Yahuda. You idiot. And now you want to come over here and try to do money,
ridiculous.
water
This is
cooler?
ridiculous.
Hold on 1 second.
Come on, man. How you just gonna come on here and take over the damn platform
Now
I'm
he's
talking?
playing victim.
Man, no, you're the victim.
Now he's playing victim
Hey,
because he's about to get called out
what's the
scholastically.
definition of Yahuda? What is Yahuda? Is that an Israelite? Yes or no?
JJ, hold on.
Is Yahuda Israelite? Yes or no?
Hold on, relax, brother. Let me make a
Is Yahuda an Israelite? You idiot. Yes or no?
No, don't say that. I mean, you don't need to do that.
I'm just saying, this clown. Hey, Shaq, I'll be back, man. This dude's a clown.
Listen to me. Just listen to me.
He wants to come over here. He can't even explain what Yahuda is.
I can propose.
If you explain what Yahuda is, I'll let you go.
JJ, just chill, brother.
Watch this. Yep.
What is
No.
Yahuda?
Yahuda means, the etymology of
Yahuda
the
means
word
what?
Jew is Yehudi. Yes, it is. Yep.
Yahuda is an Israelite, right?
No.
Oh, you're an idiot.
I'm going to show you why.
No, don't do the name calling, brother.
He can't help. Listen, Shaka, let me explain something to you
I was
all.
going to propose equal time, that's all. If you hear us, JJ, you can both agree on some, like if you want to go for 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes. But go ahead, brother.
Okay, so I wanted to show everybody what he does, all right? And we were going to have it academically, right? You heard me say it. He knew he got into trouble because I did a show talking about how incoherent his arguments are. Now, the name of me and Yara's debate was simply, are there Israelites on the west coast of Africa? And I think because they see the word black Jew, they automatically assume that is synonymous or equates to being a ethnic Israelite, right? So what I showed everybody was those sources that Yara was using were talking about black Africans practicing Judaism. What they failed to realize once again is that the Judaic faith is a proselytizing faith. They fail to recognize that. So anybody could become a Jew if you practice Judaism. It was just that simple. But since he left and you guys saw the difference in diction, the difference in patience, the difference in decorum, no name calling, no slander, you didn't see any of that come from me. Let's deal with it, what he's saying here. And this is why it's an etymological fallacy. He's creating what you call a no true Scotsman argument here. And here it is. So I'm gonna go down here on these comments. And let's see. I think this. Let me see if it's here.
Can you try to make it larger, brother?
Yeah. I sure will. Here it is. Okay. Let me make it a little bit larger so everybody can see how incoherent his arguments are. All right. Can you see it? Is it a little bit larger now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a trackpad?
A what?
A trackpad? Are you using a laptop?
Yeah, I'm using a laptop. Yeah.
You know the part in the middle that's like the mouse, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Because
it's enlarging it right there. Okay.
Like you know, with your 2 fingers, you should be able to enlarge it and then move the.
Okay, let me do this here. Let me enlarge this for everybody. Okay, let me see here. I don't go live on phones. Okay, here we go.
I think you need to go left to the. Oh no. What are the colors?
Oh, I have to go left.
Probably. No. You clicked on it. Okay. Or do you want me to share it? If you send the link
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me.
Why don't you share it? Why don't
Yeah,
you share
I
it,
will
Shaka?
share.
Because sometimes you go through this thing here on
Yeah,
your
just
channel.
just send the link to me in the private chat if you want.
Okay. How about I read it? It's just much easier if I read it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So we don't have to go through all this here because it's wasting the audience's time. So that was basically what our argument was about. And he says this is how he replies. He says he comes on my channel. It was a day ago, Friday morning, and he puts he killed himself when he said he know Jews are in Africa. The etymology of Jew is Yahudim, and that represents tribe of Israel. Wake up and stop being a damn fanboy. Okay, no. If an African practices Judaism, that makes him a Jew. So in its proper context, when the author is writing, he says he saw black Jews. Why would he see black African Jews in Africa? Because you have the Portuguese, you have the Moroccan, you have the Maghreb Jews all coming into the interiors, exteriors, and outeriors of Africa, proselytizing Africans. I'm still waiting for you all to show us the tribe of Judah, the tribe of Dan, the tribe of Levi, the tribe of Ephraim, the tribe of Naphtali, the tribe of Gad, any one of them 12 tribes in Africa, and people writing about themselves and saying they are those people themselves. You guys try to play with the word Jew. So let's do this real quick. Let's click on the Wikipedia article here. And we're going to go here and watch what he does. Because Yara was trying to say that the Akan people were, in fact, the tribes of Israel, which is untrue. All right. And let's see right here. We're going to go right here. Let's see what he does. He then goes into the tribe of Jew. Watch what he does. He goes to the word Jew. And let's read this. It says the English term Jew originates in the biblical word Yehudi, meaning from the kingdom of Judah. It passed into Greek as into Iedios, and Latin is Iedios, which evolved into the Old French GIU after the letter D was dropped. After a variety related forms are found in early English from about 1000, including Iudea, Jew, Lu, whatever, which eventually developed into the modern word. Okay, so when we go into the term Yehudi in the Bible, yes, we do see Jew in the Bible, but y'all got to keep these authors and the context of the word Jew in its proper context. That's why it's called a no true Scotsman fallacy, and an etymological fallacy at that, for you to say just because it means or it originates in the biblical Hebrew word Yehudi from the king of Judah, that all of a sudden it designates Africans as being from the kingdom of Judah. That is a complete fallacious argument to be making based on the definition of a word versus the context of the way the word is being used. I want to come back off of the live stream for 1 second, and I want to tell the audience another thing. They have to be able to honestly answer this question. What is a black Jew? They'll say, oh, it's an African Jew. Oh, that's an Israelite. Then what is a white Jew? Oh, that's a person trying to be from the tribe. That's a fake Jew. That's somebody trying to be one of the tribes of Israel. You see the hate that they have in the fake pseudo-nationalism that they carry in their heart, trying to identify with the group of people that are not them. I want to explain something, and I thought I brought this up in my debate against Yara, and you guys can see when you penetrate that cognitive barrier, when you penetrate it scholastically, they get mad and run off. I came on here to deal with you scholastically. MVP is not my nickname. It's a level. It is a level. Let's see if you can come to it instead of coming on here, making insinuations about me and your relationship, which is weird to me. That he was like, how long you been? I wasn't even on the show. I'm all like, you can either learn how to come on these platforms and bring some information, or you can continue to do what you do every single time, and that's embarrass yourself. I am proven. I bring scholarship, I bring sources, I bring facts, I bring intelligence, decorum, and I wasn't even emotional with him, and y'all saw him have another emotional meltdown. I want to bring something up here real quick because I think this is very interesting, Brother Shock. I want to bring one of my slides up that I presented against Yara, and I think just so your audience can see it, so with your permission, I will say, is it okay that I do a present? Thank you, brother. All right, so let's go here for a minute. Let's go here. Let me go here to my slides. And watch this is what I presented against Yara. And notice these guys always do the Texas sharpshooter nonsense. They never really address anything. All right, so, here it is. All right. And this is, you ain't no damn Jew. Wake up.
I don't see it, though.
I'm about to pull it up right now.
Okay,
I got you. And you know what? Brother Shaka doesn't mind a scholastic takeover on his show. He doesn't mind that when you're bringing sources. He doesn't mind it. And let me say something, and I'm going to fire back at this. Brother Shaka was not discovered by you. Everybody knows about Brother Shaka. Everybody knows about Brother Shaka because you just don't know who he is. I know who he is. I'm in Rock Squad. I know who you are. I know who you are. We go back 4 years. So anyway, it's a shame. It really is. So let's go here. Let's go here. I want to bang, boom, no huddle offense. Okay, let me do a slideshow real quick. Now, as I was presenting these, my slides, a lot of times they try to play with this Yah word here with the Akan culture. Now, the Akan people are Twi speakers. They are not Semitic speakers, all right? And I want to read who their God is. And their God is Asaze Yah or Ofua, is the goddess of fertility. So it's feminine. Love, procreation, peace, truth, and the dry and lush earth of the Akan of Ghana and Ivory Coast. She is also mother of the dead, known as the Mother Earth or Aber-A-Wa. So they even try to play with this word and say, see, this means she's the mother of Abraham. I've seen them do this all the time. Asase is the wife of Inya Capone, the male sky deity. So guess what? It's a pantheon so far. We have male divinity, and we have female divinity here because it's called balance. In Africa, we represent balance. If there's creation, there's got to be a male and female in most African cosmologies. So right now we see that the cosmology ain't even lining up with that of the biblical cosmology. All right, let's continue on. And is the daughter of Inyame. The female aspect of the Inya Capone, Inyame, Odom, Makoma Trinity. So we have a Trinity there, but according to you all, the Jesus, Holy Spirit, and I guess Theotokos is your Trinity, because Yahweh is never mentioned anywhere in the New Testament, which is weird. And this is why we say it's Greek, because what Hebrew writer would call his God Theotokos, which is a Greek god. Just another shot at you scholastically. Now, Asase gave birth to 2 children, Bea and Tano, not Adam and Eve, and is also named Bea. Asase is the mother of Anansi, the trickster, and divine stepmother of sacred high chiefs. Asase is very powerful, though no temples are dedicated to her. Instead, she is worshipped in the agricultural fields of the Asante and other Akans. Asase is highly respected amongst the Akans. Sacrifices are given to her for favors of blessings. Asase's favorite people are the Bono people. You guys should do some real research on the Bono people. Your minds will be blown. Planet Earth is Asase Yah's symbol, while its Venus is Asase Afua symbol. Here come the dagger. All right? So when they see the name, when we went to the slave names on slavevoyages.org, what they'll do is they'll type up Yah, and they saw all these names with Yah in it, right? And these were Akan people, right? They saw all those names and they said, see, Yah, there it is right there. That proves our point. No, it did not. That showed you that these people were Africans. They were uniquely African. It said the name Asaze means earth in Twi. The name Yah means one born on Thursday, meaning that Asase was created on Thursday. However, the name Afua means one born on Friday, and she was created on Friday. In actuality, the Asante believe that Asase was created on Thursday, while the Fonte people believe that Asase was created on Friday. Due to this, Asante and most other Akans call Asase Ya, meaning earth born on Thursday, while the Fonte and other Akan call Asase Afua, meaning earth born on Friday. The Asante also know Asante Ya as Aberweya, meaning old woman. Asase is known as Asase Bo no Neisi, meaning earth, creator of the underworld. So see, guys, it had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with Yahweh. Aberweya has nothing to do with Abraham. Nothing. So you guys only want to identify as being Africans, as going through Israelite, as being an Israelite. That's weird to me. I don't want to be African, but I'll be an African as long as I'm an Israelite. That's just Christianity 6.0. So guess what? This wasn't a takeover. This was a scholastic beatdown and another meltdown from an Israelite who run, and all you could do was talk about debates, up and down, no information. Brother Shaka, take it away.
Brother Chris, thank you for this. You wouldn't have a headset, would you? Because I can hear my voice like the
yeah. Let me get a headset.
The last speaker, yes. I want to wait till Brother Chris is ready because I just have a couple of comments. But feel free to join us, brothers and sisters. JJ, you're free to come back. And there's no need for them calling. There's no need for that. Sometimes we get angry, but we can always calm down. So, brothers and sisters, remember to hit that like button. How many likes do we have? 10 likes. We have 23 people online. And anybody that disagree with me or agree with me, speak to get on the panel. Probably you've been told so many things about me. There are some people that have criticized indeed, but it's mainly because they teach falsehood, So some of you are friends with them or family members with them, and some of you are simping because you try to get controls of some groupie cheerleaders, but you can definitely have a talk with me,
I'm going to be using my gaming headset, if you don't mind. Let's see if it works.
No.
Okay. Testing 1 2 3. Can you hear me?
Okay. I'm going to put your volume up. Hold on. Okay. Can you speak?
Testing 1 2 3.
Okay. Put it a bit up. Okay. So yeah, we can hear you, brother.
Okay.
So, yes, there's one parallel because you mentioned them not wanting to be African, but when they think that we have some African Jews, that derive from,
right,
wherever, then they want to claim it. It reminds me of the Moors because the Moors are very famous for not wanting to associate with Africa or Africans. But when it comes to Morocco, because there was some treaty, they don't mind. But
right.
but so it looks like because they saw Yah, I mean the linguistic acrobatic claiming that one word actually means Abraham, it's quite amusing to me. But because they saw Yah in some names, they figured, oh, there we go. That's like some evidence that those people were Jewish. But is it known? Is it common for Jewish people to bear the name Yah?
Not that I haven't seen it. No.
Because Yah will be a diminutive of Yahweh. Correct. And I think it would be unlikely for Jewish people to bear a name like that, because even Yahweh, it is known that they don't really pronounce it. That's why they would use Adonai. Yes. So them bearing the name, if they bear the name, but right. It's an attempt. It's an attempt, and we can definitely get some clarity. Lately, what I have seen. Yes, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
And one of the things I always sit up there and say is, I'm all like, okay, cool. You know, you guys always run to African peoples trying to create some type of using some type of revisionist methodology in order to prove that these African people are in fact Israelites. Okay, where's the Talmud? Where is their Mishnah? Where is their Gemara? Where is their Tanakh? Where is the Zohar that backs up the mystical teachings of the Gemara and Zohar? Why don't they ever speak about the 7 seeds of faith which are contained in the Gemara in Zohar or the Talmud? It says everywhere the Jews went, they always had their writings. They always wrote. Where are their indigenous writings? Why can't we find any of this? But you know what they'll do? They'll run to Timbuktu. They'll run to Timbuktu where we know Jews were at. And when you show the pictures of those rabbis in those temples, they get real bitter because, like I said, they took pictures of themselves on who they were. Those Jews have always showed people from the 17th, I'll tell people like this, to the 11th century, where you guys try to make these layman arguments by giving us these texts. By giving us these texts, reading these books that you guys think we're not familiar with, and you guys try to sit up there and say, see, Israelites are in Africa. Israelites are in Africa. They never were there. Just show me how they got into Africa. Let's do some real study. Show me how they got there. 70 AD? You know, 70 AD is only recorded in Josephus. It's not recorded anywhere else in the history of the world. It's not recorded anywhere else. You know, I'm getting ready to go do an interview tomorrow, right? On this one channel. And I want to take this clip right here that we just had this experience with this gentleman with. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to show everybody how they react. They create these misleading arguments. Does Jew come from the word Yehuda? And does Yehuda mean the tribe of Israel? Yeah. I'm not going to tell you anything until he says that. Yeah. But you still have to keep it in its proper context. What is the author expressing when he's writing about African Jews? It's the same thing he's expressing when he's talking about Spanish Jews, European Jews. It's people who practice the Judaic faith. Learn how to stay on course with what's being said, and people won't laugh at you all the time. There's no beef because you're irrelevant, honestly. It's just like the gentleman that was on here last night talking about the kingdom of Judah is on the west coast of Africa. I already dealt with that 5 years ago. It's not on the kingdom of a Portuguese map drawer named Emmanuel Bowen drew that on there. The people called it Guihu. They didn't call it Judah. They didn't call it Yehuda. They didn't call it any of that. They call, and in this mentioning Yoruba people who come from Oyo people. Where are you guys getting your methodology from? I guarantee you it starts with Deuteronomy 28 verse 68. Let's do something real quick because he says, quote, Chris didn't win that debate. Can we take a look, Brother Shaka? Because I like what you do. I like what you do. Shaka does something very, very good here. Let's go here. And I approached Zion Lex on that book, Hebrew Isms of West Africa. And when I approached him on that, he said he didn't want to talk to me because I've already exposed that book. First of all, Joseph J. Williams was an American Jesuit priest. He was an American Jesuit priest. He was a missionary. That's what he was. He supported the so-called Hermetic hypothesis. He supported that. So when he was, here it is right here. Okay, so let me pull this up. Shout out to Sa Neter. Shout out to Brother Shaka. Let's go here to the comments. Yes. Let's go here to the comments because you know Israelites, they never lose a debate. And yes. They never lose a debate, you know. They never lose a debate. Let me get this up real quick. Okay, so let's pull this up because we'll let the people talk for themselves. And let's see if the majority agree with you. Okay, let's go here. Let me do a screen share. No huddle offense. Bang. Pow. You should stay in the lion's den in your echo chamber. You shouldn't come over here where people are going to scrutinize information. My information can be scrutinized. I don't mind it. Shaka has scrutinized my information. So let's take a look here. 277 comments here, right? Zion Lex, was the transatlantic slave trade foretold in Deuteronomy 28? No, it was not. All right. So this is at, let me see, how many views? I don't see where it says it at.
This
We're
is
not going to,
24,000 views. It's
thank
right
you.
underneath Saneda's profile picture.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to go here. Let's look at what they're saying. Okay, this guy Chris has me contemplating everything I've ever been told. Chris Harris is an absolute beast. Chris clearly won. Here we go. We're already 3 down. I don't have to do any more because it says, according to your Bible, on the account of 3 witnesses shall a testimony be made. You got to keep your Torah there. Let's see. Chris is becoming my favorite debater. Dude, Chris did a good job. For the record, I remember a few years ago when there was a controversy concerning the Shabbat day, and me being a Hebrew Israelite at the time reached out to Brother Lex via Facebook DM, didn't get a response. However, he did make a video he released on Facebook and about this topic that was ambiguous as hell. I, in turn, asked other Hebrews, listen to what people say about you guys. I, in turn, asked other Hebrew Israelite teachers. They had no answer also. I also remember Brother Lex stating in another, if you are a Hebrew Israelite, what was your calling card? He stated Deuteronomy 28. Wow, I'm happy after hearing this debate, or I'm happy I'm hearing this debate. I learned I learned a time ago, being apart from this community, that it's pure belief, and debating things like this is tiresome, and let it go and allow them to hold their beliefs. Bottom line, Deuteronomy 28 is gravitated to black people simply because of the horrible experience we've had and still face in America. I said enough, but I'll leave you to whoever read this. There are many, many contradictions in this belief. Do your own due diligence. If you believe in the Creator, He gave you a brain. Use it. Even these scriptures tell you not to be naive or stupid. Peace of blessings. See, people need to hear these type of debates to shut people down, right? Look, Chris won. Best part was Chris closing debate with love and brotherhood. Facts and evidence will defeat belief every time. Excellent, brother Chris. Excellent. Zion Lex got bodied. Someone suggested a panel of 3 judges to determine HOK debates. I believe that. I believe Chris won by a lot. I can go up and down this entire panel, and no one said that Zion Lex won the debate. You have stragglers that come in there, but the majority have always came on there and said Chris won the debate. It was an easy debate. Deuteronomy 28 is not talking about black people in America, simply because Moses is threatening them, if you read the story correctly, with going back into Egypt. In other words, he's going to scare them with the threat of being returned to Egypt. That's all it was. I asked Zion Lex, hey, I know you study Talmud. I know you study Torah. What rabbinical school do you represent? He said he didn't want to answer that. The reason why he didn't want to answer that was very smart, because he understood the rabbinical teachings do not teach that Deuteronomy 28 was a future prophecy. So he didn't want to answer that. And that's all I needed to hear to know that he's very disingenuous when it comes to debates. So for the record, if anybody wants to know what my belief is, because these Israelites love debating and their book tells them don't debate. Obviously, the prophets or whoever these people were that are writing it know this is a bunch of junk. That's why they would tell you don't debate it or debate genealogy, because they know they can't prove it. Let's be honest here. And I'm rambling a little bit here. I'm what you would call a pantheist or a naturalist. I believe that my mother and father are God. Everything that your God does, my parents did better. It's just that simple. And I can prove it.
I'm looking for the poll because I posted the poll. So I'm
It's
going
under
through
the
my
community
timeline.
page. It's under the
Yeah,
community page.
I'm on my timeline right now, and no, not
Here,
there.
I'll find it too. And
Yeah.
you're gonna only thing anybody can ever say, oh, Chris and Pastor Bennett, Chris and Pastor Bennett, Chris and Pastor Bennett. Vocab got smoked. Vocab Malone said in the debate, I would not want to be a slave. You're right. That is a less than good position that I would not want to be in. I said, so you agree that that's a bad thing. He could not point to anything in Ma'at and say that it was evil. Hold
Oh,
on.
okay. Well, I found the post, but I thought, oh, it's a shame I did not put the screen print. But I have the figure. I mean, I
Here,
have, yeah,
I
the
got it
figure.
up. I have it up right here.
Oh, you have it? Okay. Because I think it was 80% of the people who voted for you. Let me read it. Uh, no, 70 people percent of the audience voted for you, and dialects had 30% of the vote. So the people decided.
And can you share my screen, please? I want to show.
Yes, it is shared now.
Okay, JJ, you were also running around telling everybody you beat Judah Nazareth. The people said you lost. So how can you be the HOK champion? Let's go here. Black Jesus Q beat Black Jesus Minister. Garfield beat Gorilla Hebrew, not by a lot, because Garfield himself is a Christian. Let me see. Jabari, Chris Harris versus Judah Naz. 74% of the people said it. I won. Let's go down. Neo X. Oh, Neo X won that debate. Let me see. Let's keep going down. Raborn defeats Elder Yara. Let's keep going down. Let's watch this. Chris versus Vocab Malone. 191 likes. Chris Harris 77. Vocab Malone 23%. Now here's the weird thing, and I respect what you said on there. You said Chris Harris is already proven. I've been watching Chris Harris since Debate Talk for You, since Solar Vision. He's not really losing many of his debates. Thank you. I appreciated that one. Let's keep going down. Down, brother. Okay, I think that was my first big time debate over here. Oh, there it is. 189 likes. Who do you feel won this debate? Chris Harris. 74 to 26. So now, not only have I beat you up scholastically, I've also showed that you have no ethics and your word is not your bond.
What is the other thing I wanted to? Oh yes. Now,
Since you like talking about debates all the time.
I never heard. I don't know if that exists, but I don't recall hearing, except for Black Hebrews or lights. I never. I don't recall ever hearing some Jewish people claiming to be descended from one of the 12 uh, tribes or the 12 sons of who is it, Jacob? Or
Yeah.
so I find it quite strange, and they seem to go for the most part from the 12 tribe chart. That is something very recent. So if those people in Ghana happen to be descendant of some tribe, is the process documented of how they went from Canaan, or one of their progenitors left Canaan and ended up in Ghana? And when did they no longer speak Hebrew or Medu Neter, if we listen to the brother yesterday, to speak in Tui? But once again, we have a case of claims. It's not backed up. And I guess they're not too familiar with being asked to document what they are saying, because a lot of people have witnessed when I went on Sanetta, people acted like it was a given. But when we ask them for records, we don't see anything. 3 hours. 3 hours. And they're supposed to be so deep, so thorough, supposed to have so much information. Now we have records for days, you know. And I read some comments in the chat of some people saying, "Well, this guy is asking for records, but it's not showing anything." But I've shown some primaries, but nobody challenged me to back up what I was saying. And sometimes, when I talk about stuff, I give some names of documents or some authors and stuff like that. But I mean, but at the end of the day, I should not focus too much about what's being said in the chat or in the comments, because you have people of different persuasions, and some of them are quite kind of hurt. Like I was talking about Tamika, that moderator. She's obviously a groupie cheerleader of the Riparian Ice. So every chance she gets, she's going at me. And I saw her lately talking about, well, um, he doesn't have a degree, but yet he talks about Garfield. But There's a huge difference, and those are just weak talking points. Garfield has stated publicly that he has a degree, a bachelor's degree in history. I did not claim publicly, nor privately, to have a degree. That's a huge difference. And there's also somebody that said, well, it's only with black people that we ask for degrees. We don't have to ask degrees, and it's not just black people; it's people from the conscious community who are lying about their credentials. Because the other people, when they are PhDs, if we type their name up, most of the time, the top results will lead us to the university page. So we don't even need to ask them because we can see them listed on a university website and we have the email address. But anyway, I digress. Amazingly, though, for some people, it's cool to lie publicly to the people. It's cool to plagiarize. But then they're going to criticize you because you don't share the same religion as them. You know.
Yes, sir.
But the Hebrew Israelites, and that's why I made that video, and they are on survival mode right now.
Big
Yeah,
time.
they are
Big time.
really on survival mode. We
And
barely hear you because of yeah,
oh, the mic. You hear me? You
yeah,
hear me?
because the mic is up. So
Okay.
we yeah,
I gotta keep it like this then. All right, no problem. All right,
yeah.
so I know you can hear me now. I want to highlight something here that I noticed when Lord Abba came on the platform.
Hmm.
All right, and let me do a quick screen share because I want to show you
Yeah,
guys
of course, of course.
What Israelites do. Also, this is funny. Check it out. Look, this is very funny. And look, let's take a look at this. Is so funny, guys. Look, let's do the share screen.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully this dang on database works. All right. I know you can see this, right? I know you can see this, brother Shaka.
Yes,
Okay.
slave voyages. Yes.
Slavevoyages.org. Okay. So what they do is they'll come here and they'll pull this up. And they'll say something like Yah. And then we're gonna hit apply. Look at all these words with the name Yah in there, right? Right? They got all these words. Now, here's something. This is why this site can be tricky, right? They'll try and use it to confirm that these were Israelites, but look what happened to all these people that had the name Yah. Settled in Sierra Leone, 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 given liberated African status. Let's go here to the next one. Everybody, you see, always settled in Sierra Leone, settled in Sierra Leone, settled in Sierra Leone, right? This 1830, settled in Sierra Leone. It's going to go all the way until, what's it called, Havana. Now they're in Cuba, right? So they're not on the shores yet. We see all these Yah names, right? We don't, one more time, we know what the name Yah means, right? Here he is. Still, Yay, Yah, Ta. We have all these names in here, right? All of it settled in Sierra Leone. Let's go to the very last, let's go to page 36. Settled in Sierra Leone. They're not even in America. I've already done this research. You're not going to find one page where it says they came over here to America. You're not going to find one. Given liberated African status. Let's take a look. Now,
You know,
check this. Oh, go ahead.
no, sorry. They might argue that because they settled in Sierra Leone, maybe they went to the Americas first, and then there were some of those who left America to go to Sierra Leone. Maybe they're gonna try that.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so, but we already know what the name Yah. Now, look, you can contribute to pronouncing these names right. Look, you could just click on the mic, right? And look, people of the transatlantic slave trade, database of the enslaved, right? You can suggest the spellings of these names. You can suggest it. So it wasn't even really recorded. You could just go in here and say, that's how you pronounce it, and type, this is the name of a Israelite, right? And then you can click on this, and then sit up there and it says, look, it's saying it wants to use my microphone, and you can say, yeah. It's a complete joke. It lacks the scientific method. It fails it horribly. So now what I would do is I would then go into Sierra Leone Israelites, or as I like to call you guys, ain't realites or angryalites, as we just witnessed. I would just go into Sierra Leone and do some research historically, do some anthropological work here, get some books. It take a lot of reading to get this stuff done. You just can't sit back and clickety clickety clack on Google real quick. Got to get the books and then come into the community like on this channel or come in front of me, put it all in a bag and shake it all up and then say, "See, Israelites, I proved it." Just because you see the word black Jew, then what is a white Jew? Black Judaism, white Judaism. It's a proselytizing faith. Get on out of here, man. Show me some people calling themselves Judites in the first millennium BCE. It's just like no different than Brother Shaka asking, show me black Canaanites. I'm looking at Lord Abba like, man, this was hilarious. And yes, Canaanites were people from the Euro-Asian steppe. Amorites, Midianites, Hittites, the book telling you who they is. And when we do the historical data on these people groups, they all come out of the mountains of Turkey. Are you now saying that our origin is Turkey? Are you serious? Why don't we see, coming from Noah's Ark, any civilizations flowing from those mountains into Africa? We always see it we see it the reverse, don't we, Shaka? We see African civilization flowing towards that way. We see it. That's called anthropological, historical, and archaeological data shows it. The out of Africa theory, the back to Africa migration.
Yes.
We don't see anything flowing from the mountaintops. How is Ham the youngest but got the oldest civilizations? That should be the first thing that you should say, oh, this is nonsense right here. That's why you got Chris phobia.
They're desperate. And for a long time, they were used to just, sticking to the Bible, making biblical genealogy, biblical scholarship, biblical history. But when we go outside of the Bible, it's a desert. Or it's a claim land. It's a claim. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to be diplomatic. Really, we can engage, have discussion, and hopefully we'll open the eyes of maybe 1 to 5% of them, because usually the majority of people, when they are into a belief system, they will remain in it. But you're sharing here. Hold on. But it's good that we have these discussions. It's just really good. But for a long time, people just quoting the Bible or the Quran. It's like it was enough. It was sufficient. But it doesn't fly anymore.
One of the things I always do, rather than do all this reading now, and as you become a better presenter, as you become a better presenter of information, one of the things you begin to do is you'll just learn how to show pictures. These are the traditions that were found on the west coast of Africa. These are the people. Snake. The serpent.
That doesn't look like Judaism.
Does not look like Judaism. I've backed all this. Look at this beautiful sister right here. Snake worship. This is what you saw on the west coast of Africa. How does this picture look? How does this look like they're holding their hands up, if you don't mind me asking, Shaka? What does that really look like? The way they're prostrating their hands. Yeah, but you know how it's not on the west coast of Africa, as if I think this picture right here says enough. All you gotta do is look at the left and right side of the head. But hey, what do we know? See, this is what was on the west coast of Africa. I bet you that goat ain't alive no more.
Is that Benin?
Huh?
The Republic of Benin. Those pictures here. Yes.
Yeah, this is where I got a lot of these pictures. Yes.
So obviously that's what we call voodoo.
That's what we call voodoo. Correct.
Yes.
There, you see it right there. Good job. And that's why I just show you the pictures. Here they are. I could just show you the culture. I don't have to do all the talking. Let the people talk for themselves. All right, let the people talk. And this little presentation is 6, 7 years old. Now I want to read this real quick.
Mhm.
Let me read this real quick. And this was in Joseph J. Williams' book, the same people that who wrote Hebrew Isms of West Africa. He also has a book called Voodoos on Obeahs. So the same man that sat up there and said that black people were Israelites, he turned around now identifying them with their natural religious rights now, which is weird. And there was a sailor that went over there by the name of Des Marcaius, and he says, we may now take up chronologically the principal accounts of serpent worship at Ouida, which they would call Judah, that have come down to us. The earliest detailed narrative and antedating even that of Des Marcaius is from the pen of William Bosman, the chief factor of the Dutch of the castle of St. George de Lima, written originally in Dutch in 1700. It was quickly translated and circulated throughout Europe. Now this is what he writes. Concerning Ouida, or as he calls it, Fida, he declares, quote, end quote, it is certain that his countrymen have a faint idea of the true God. Wait a minute. Colonization. They don't know what God is because they have their own religious rights. Let's see. It is certain that his countrymen have a faint idea of the true God, and ascribe to him the attributes of almighty and omnipotent. They believe that he created the universe and therefore vastly prefer him before their idol gods. But yet they do not pray to him or offer any sacrifice for him, for which they give for the following reason. God, say they, is too high exalted above us, and too great to condescend so much as to trouble himself or to think of mankind. Wherefore he commits the government of the world to their idols, to whom, as the second, third, and fourth persons distant in degrees from God, and our appointed lawful governors, we are obliged to apply ourselves. And in firm belief of this opinion, they quietly continue. Their principal gods, which are owned for such throughout the whole country, are of three sorts. First, a certain sort of snakes, who possess the chief rank among their gods. Their second-rate gods are some lofty high trees, in the foundation of which Dame Nature seems to have expressed her greatest art. The third and meanest god, or younger brother to the other, is the sea. These three mentioned are public deities which are worshipped and prayed to throughout their whole country. Quote, and quote, they invoke the snake in excessive wet or barren seasons on all occasions relating to the government and to the preservation of their cattle, or rather in one word, in all necessities and difficulties in which they do not apply to their new batch of gods. And for this very reason, very great offerings are made to it, especially from the king. This is a primary source in the book Voodoos and Obeahs by Joseph J. Williams, who also wrote Hebrew Isms, which means isms would mean something to be like. The Hebrews. They were saying, oh, there's some things that they do that are quite reminiscent of Hebrewism or Hebrew bullshit. And I'm saying this why? Because when Europeans came into Africa, they didn't know what was necessarily there. So when they came in there, they have their Bible as they begin to penetrate deeper and deeper. And everything they thought was older or thought was God, they begin to see as not being true. And they began to see Africans worshiping, Africans having ritual rites, sacrificing, and they always compared it to that of their very own world view. And they begin to describe it as, oh man, this is like the Jews do. No, we were already here. All right, that's a new people. That is a new religion. Voodoo, Medu Neter, the Egyptian, Nubia, Ethiopia, and I keep telling everybody Egypt was a baby on the Nile. It was young compared to Ethiopia and Nubia. It was young. That religion come right from the beginning of the Nile with Nubia and Ethiopia. Stop it. All the way down to Uganda. It was already there. It just developed. In Egypt, which was probably, I like to tell people, going to become a principal learning center for the whole world until those damn Euro-Asians came over there and destroyed it. Because yes, Egypt was the gateway into Africa, and we probably want to show everybody what Africa was really about. Everything, every religion, every religious rite, every sacrifice, every god that you all know today, mainly dealing with the Christian Islam, which I call Hislam because it's made up, come right out of Egypt. And we could see things and archetypes that pre-exist in Egypt before that god dang on religion even exists. So thank you. They worshiped the snake. They didn't have nothing to do with no doggone. They didn't have nothing to do with no doggone Yahweh. Get out of here. Y'all just hate being African.
Well, many, well, a few. The elder, I don't know, was it yesterday? He said, at one point I think he mentioned like one group that hate Africans, but there's at least two that I know of, but obviously I don't know all the groups, but GMS I don't really hear about them that much. But of course IFCPK, we hear about them quite
Yeah.
quite regularly, and they've been very vocal about their dislike, not only their dislike, and hate towards Africans, but also, to my surprise, they celebrate the death of Africans. So it's very serious, the self-hate is very serious. And amazingly, because of this biblical narrative, because that's where we get the enslavement of the Hebrews from.
Yeah,
They
because we're
want
never
to
there. They were never
yeah,
there.
and now they're trying to label the ancient Egyptians as enslavers committing human rights atrocities. So it's like when there's a war and they capture prisoners, they should place them in four-star hotels and look after them. you know,
Yeah, they got their own land. They got their own land in Goshen, and they didn't travel all the way across Egypt, a million deep. Ain't nobody seen these people fleeing,
Mhm.
and they believe it. Okay, so I want to do something here because since we're having fun with this, and this is why they run. That's why they act the way they do because they know, oh my God, he gonna pull my source. Whenever you go to a wiki page, you have to be honest on what it is you're reading here, right? And the first thing it says that the one that you provided, it says this article has multiple issues. Okay, that's so we know this is not a legit source. So let's take a look here. Here's the contents. Let's go to modern use of the word Jew. This is all you had to do, and you guys body yourself. Watch this. In modern English and other contemporary languages, the term Israelite was used to refer to contemporary Jews as well as to Jews of antiquity until the mid 20th century. Since the foundation of the state of Israel, it has become less common to use Israelite of Jews in general. Instead, citizens of Israel, whether Jewish or not, are called Israeli, while Jew is used as an ethno-religious designation. Ethno-religious designation. So in other words, it goes right back to what I was saying. What is a white Jew? Somebody who practices what? Judaism.
Judaism.
What is a black Jew? Somebody, and with the very same reason, you got to say somebody who practices Judaism, a black person or an African that practices Judaism. Guys, please wave when you guys try to have a conversations with these guys. Check their temperament, or they're gonna keep doing just like JJ doing. He won't talk about that. So you got your little one up there with you. I'm gonna watch my language here. They're gonna yell, they're gonna scream, and they're gonna play victim because them daggers are getting ready to come out. And as we like to say, we source up or we shut up. Every book that y'all read, I can go right into it and show you the proper context of what it is that you're bringing forth. And I guarantee you, ain't none of them authors trying to sit up there and say that Africans, in which they're identifying them as Africans, were in fact Jews or Israelites. Why do you guys always look for Jews? Look for Israelites. Israelites. Show me Israelites on the west coast of Africa. Lord Abba, show us black Canaanites, all right? Don't show us some diagram, some picture you done threw in a bag. Look, brother, he done threw it all in a bag, and he done gave it to you live on there.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra, Harry Potter. You know what I'm saying? So, nah,
Yeah.
man. Nah. Don't mention the devil, and when the devil show up looking for his payment, you get mad and start running. That's not what we do over here. I was watching the show. I said, let me tell you something about Chris. Let me come on here real quick and
Yeah.
show y'all how to deal with him. How many times did y'all see me yell? Zero. How many times did y'all see me cuss? Zero. How many times did y'all see me act out of decorum? Zero. How many times did he cuss? How many times did he act out of decorum? How many times did he melt down? How many times did he yell? So guess what? You don't even represent your faith. You break your own covenant. You supposed to be a Kohen. Get out of here, man. Go sit down. Go to sleep. Go to Sunday school, man. Go to Sunday school, man.
And
Montez.
a lot of time they like to. Sometimes they will quote outside of the Bible. Do you remember the brother um, Afro-Asiatic?
Oh my God.
He would do that. Quote from a sentence from one book, a paragraph from another one. Quote some genetic studies, and all these authors that are quoted, the majority of them do not. The majority of them does not claim that the Hebrews are black.
No.
You know, and that's one of the things that amuses me the most. So they, Ham, Canaan, Nimrod, Muslims they do that. I don't know if it's the House of Kedah or stuff like that. It's like theological um, um, narratives that they're trying to turn into history. And I'm like, man, why don't we deal with the records? And indeed, Lord Abba tried to, that the Canaanite stuff, and but it's just a shame. And indeed, I say Canaanite because I don't want to use the term Israelite because in history, in Kemet or even elsewhere, I always ask people, how far does that go back? That term Israelite. So I use the term Canaanite because this is really their main dwelling place. Even though according to the narrative, they ultimately come from like around Chaldea, and then they were given the go ahead by their God to say, go over there and take that land. Take that land.
That's right.
Now the elder was talking about Abraham buying the place, but I'm not really familiar with that story. I'm not saying it's not on their book like the Bible or the Torah, but it's oh man, we have Flavius Josephus. Maybe some people don't know about that story, but Flavius Josephus relates Manetho, and he talks about how they got control of the land. And oh no, I'm sorry. In the Bible, we have the story of how they got control of the land. But Manetho, as quoted by Josephus, they now he called them Josephus called them shepherd kings, but we're dealing with the Hyksos that they
Right.
came and they committed so many atrocities. But the biblical narrative, when we have Joseph, uh, who was sold by his brothers, and he's in prison, and because he interprets dreams, then he interprets the dream of the Pharaoh, so he's good. He's out of prison and all that. And then uh, I forgot if he's some dreams that he had that he interpreted, but he basically warned that there will be a famine. And I think when he did that, that's probably when. But at some point, he was like second to the Pharaoh, the equivalent of a prime minister today, or a chati or vizier back then. But anyway, then we are told about a time when there was a famine, and maybe it's right after the famine that he foretold, but the people wanted to eat. And he said, well, give me your land and I'll give you the food. And he says in the Bible, of course, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not, uh, you know, quoting verbatim. They go, well, what good is our land if we starve to death? So they give him the land. And this shows that, I mean, that's so disingenuous, that's so horrible. But I think it's a justification because there's conflicting sources. So some group of people ultimately are trying to claim some legitimacy to some territory, or try to be up, and maybe ultimately the story of Canaan might be that thing. Maybe some people claim a particular group, ethnic group, or tribe. Um, and of course, we're dealing with the theological narrative. They might feel like they descend from such and such tribe. So, okay, let me write and say that Canaan is cursed. Cursed be
Mm-hmm.
Canaan and his
Exactly.
descendants. Because when we read the story, the guy just entered the tent or whatever it was, whatever place it was, he just entered, and Noah, that drunkard, was naked. I mean, how does that reward you and your descendants to be cursed? It just doesn't make sense at all. Just like when we go back early in this narrative about Cain and Abel, ever since I've been a child and I've been reading that story and thinking about that story, I couldn't. It always felt wrong to me. Always felt wrong that two people make an offering to their God, and God favors one offering and doesn't favor the other offering. How unjust is that?
Well,
But
that actually comes from a Sumerian story. That the
hmm
story of Cain and Abel actually comes from a Sumerian story. Hold on, let me grab the book real quick.
hmm Is it who wrote the Bible?
Let me find it here. Let me find it here in this book here that I have. You can keep going. Let me find. It's going to be a second.
Yeah, no problem. There's a book called Who Wrote the Bible. I read it a long time ago, and yeah, I think the book was interesting, but I think it lacked references. He would, but I read it a long time ago.
Hmm.
But I'm confident that we will get some clarity. Definitely, we'll get some clarity. Now, Chuck Morgan, him learning the cuneiform, that's going to be helpful. You know, as for myself, I've been dealing with the Medu Neter, and now I'm, getting into the Hebrew, the Greek, the Arabic has been a little while. It's going to take time. All this is going to take time. If I didn't have to work full time, then obviously things will be much quicker. But I do what I can. We got to use what we got to get what we want.
Yes, sir. Okay, here. Let me pull this source for you, and I want to show everybody this book here.
hmm
Um, this is an excellent book, and this is all you need. All right, this is all you need. This is a book called 101 Myths About the Bible, right? Of the
Oh
Bible.
well, the funny thing is, I said who wrote the Bible, but I was thinking about that book. I have it actually,
Yeah, and
but I
it's
think I have both. I have who wrote the Bible and 100. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
but I have that one. Yeah.
yeah. But this story about Cain and Abel is a fake story, and it's
Mm.
yes, you
Hold
can
on,
read.
I'm just gonna put her on the
Oh
bed.
yeah,
But
sure. Yeah,
keep
go
going.
ahead.
Yeah, keep
Yeah,
going.
she is sound asleep, boy. All right, so actually, the story itself about Cain and Abel, we can sit up there and see the archetype between Osiris and Set. We can definitely see the archetype there where you have two brothers battling it out. But it actually comes from I can never pronounce his name, but it actually comes from a story that comes from a Sumerian myth called Dumuzi and Ikimidu or Ikimdu. That's what the story comes from. And Dumuzi was a shepherd who offered a sacrifice, and the god didn't like it. It comes from a Sumerian myth here. And I just want to read. I want to try and read this here um, before I get started here. So it says in the story known as Dumuzi and Enkimudu, I can't pronounce these words. Enkimidu, where we find the theme of competition between a shepherd, Dumuzi, and a farmer in Kimidu. All right, now everybody knows the shepherd was who? I think it would be Abel, and because he offered the first fruits of the land or something like that. Y'all know that silly story. All right, and his brother offered the fruit or whatever one it was. The brother offered the goat, the sheep, and the brother offered the fruit, and God didn't like it, and then that caused Cain to get mad at Abel and all this other nonsense, right? And it says, we find a theme of competition between a shepherd named Dumuzi and farmer named Ekemidu. In this instance, both sought the favor of the goddess Inanna, which was also a resurrection deity. All right, let's continue on. At first, Inanna preferred Ikemudu, the farmer, but Dumuzi, the shepherd, pleaded his case, and she eventually chose him to be her husband. By way of parallel, in both the Sumerian and biblical stories, the deity chose the shepherd over the farmer, but in the Sumerian account, no one is killed. All right? In a second story known as the Descent of Inanna, however, Dumuzi, like Abel, dies a horrible death. The death of Dumuzi appears to have substituted for what had been the death of Cain. But because Dumuzi was a shepherd rather than a farmer, the biblical editor, in order to conform to the Babylonian tradition, changed the identity of the deceased brother from farmer to shepherd, from Cain to Abel. So when the Bible was being constructed, this is why I like to say that it's a Greek concoction. It is. They dominated that entire realm. The Greeks and the four generals after Alexander died, they dominated that entire realm. And in order to bring the people together, what's the first thing you got to do, Brother Shaka? What's the first thing you're going to have to do?
In order to what?
Bring people together, bring all these different people groups together. What's the first thing you would have to do as a government?
Oh, you mean like back then? Well, back then it's the if it's the time of the king has a religion, and everybody else has
Right, I got to put you
to
underneath
get on
my
board. Yeah,
religion.
yeah.
You find that throughout the Bronze Age, especially during the Iron Age, all right? Iron Age 1 and 2, all right? That's why you had all the temples in Egypt, and they went all the way into the Levant area. Very good. Yep. I'm looking at it. I'm trying to see who wrote the Bible. Who was that by?
It's Richard Elliott Friedman, who is a professor of Hebrew and comparative literature at the University of California, San Diego.
Okay.
He earned his doctorate from Harvard, and he was also a visiting scholar at Oxford and Cambridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you have to put them underneath your religion, and this is what all the ecumenical councils was about. It wasn't just about Jesus. It wasn't just about Christianity. It was about placing or gathering this religion, gathering all these religious doctrines, and getting everybody to absorb one common religion. It just wasn't about Jerusalem. All right, the Edict of Milan just wasn't about Jerusalem and Christians. All right, it was about allowing all the religions to live in this realm at the time until the king said, "This is what we're gonna do. If you don't want to do it, we're gonna butcher you and kill you." Then the Bible, a canonized document, was put together. Really, the Bible is a governing source. I tell people that all the time. And then they said, this is the document that we're going to read. This is the God we're going to worship. I got Egyptian gods in here, Babylonian gods in here. I got Greek gods in here, and I've put it all together. They did what the Hebrews do. They
They did a milkshake.
yeah,
Cocktail.
and gave him a book called the Boom Bible, and they said, "Here y'all go. This is your spirituality, right?" And from this book, we have all this confusion, all right? So, but I promise you, brothers and sisters, the more you study religion and the mythologies contained within it, it's going to take you to one source, the Greeks. It's going to take you to one source, the Greeks. It always goes back to Ptolemy. It just always goes back to him. No matter how you all put it together, it go right back to him. So with that being said, I like to tell people Christianity was codified in the 5th century, not in the 3rd. So take it away, Shaka.
And have you heard about the book Caesar's Messiah?
Yeah, I have it, by Joseph Atwell.
Well, I don't remember the name of the author, but I think that's the only one with that title, because I saw the documentary and I found it
Yes.
very interesting. So I'm planning on reading that book, but there's so many books. I mean, on my desk right now, I have maybe 30 books, and that's just on my desk.
Hey,
But we have
wait a minute. Hey, that's all you got is 30 books, Shaka?
no on
I
my
got
desk,
you beat, there.
on my desk, on my
I got
desk,
you beat
on
on
my
my
desk.
desk. I got about 50, and I try to read a chapter a day
Mm,
out of
mm.
each one of them. What's up? What's up, Radio One?
Hey, Radio One.
I try to read at least one chapter out of each one, but I end up always going back and reading it again, and I might find a book I like a little bit more than the next. You got your visitor in here. I'm gonna give it to him and not take over the show. Go ahead, bro. Share the
What's up,
panel. I'm
Radio
sorry.
One? Hotel,
What up,
brother?
Radio One? What's up?
You're muted, brother. Oh, actually, no, you're not muted. No, now you're muted. So unmute yourself. Okay. Uh, I think there's something wrong with your mic. We just don't hear any sound. Oh, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you well, brother.
Okay, okay. Yes, yes. Peace, brother Shaka.
Peace.
Peace, brother Chris. Yeah, and Hotep.
Hotep.
Yeah, I just want to add on to what.
Yesterday was something. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I know, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The elder was, man. The elder was in denial, man. Yeah,
Yeah, he's different. He's different.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, but hopefully he he gained some out of that, because a lot of these guys, man, they say they so used to you know talking their nonsense, on other platforms and not get challenged, so being that he got challenged, he can think otherwise, and
I hope
and
so as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I just want to touch on this Jewish identity. Okay. Now I see all Jews as converts. Yeah, because even according to the Bible, after the Babylonian exile, okay, um, the state or the kingdom of Israel, all the way from David to the last king of I think Zedekiah or Jehoiakim or something like that. Um, that was an unbroken like lineage, according to the Bible. I'm just saying according to the Bible, not nothing to do with history, but that was an unbroken lineage. But when they got carried captive to Babylon, that lineage ended. It was no longer lineage, because the kingdom of Israel came to an end, and they were taken to Babylon, and they got scattered throughout the regions of along the Euphrates River in that area. And as the story goes, it said some of them went to Egypt. And then Isaiah 11:11 mentions God will gather his people from Egypt and Cush, but that is prophetic. That's not historical. Even according to the Bible, it's prophetic. So there's a possibility that migration to Cush never happened, because it's based on prophecy. And yeah, brother. Now when it comes to this Jews in West Africa, okay, now it is important that we understand the origin of this claim. Um, if you don't mind, brother, could you share my screen?
Of course, brother.
Yeah, I want to show something. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. Now, the origin of this claim is from here. Okay. Now we know that they say that the Jews in Timbuktu, they record that their ancestors came from Yemen, and they were Jews. And but what you have to realize is those writings, those records from Timbuktu, is written in Arabic. It's written in Arabic, and it's written by Islamic Muslims, who converted to Africans who converted to Islam. Now, let me see here. Is this big enough? Can you see it? Let me see. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me see here. Would I have to blow it up a little bit more? Let me see here. Wait a minute. Okay. I'm gonna blow it up a little
Oh,
bit more.
I was muted. I was saying
Oh,
that, yeah, on my end it's fine. It's just I
oh,
just realized that when we use StreamYard, our screen is smaller, but when we make it larger, then but yeah, so far it's fine. On my end it is, but the people
okay.
can let us know in
But
the
you
chat.
but you can read that.
Yeah, you want me to read from the top right?
Yeah,
That
yeah, yeah, yeah.
they did not buy and sell. So they page 581. I don't know the title of the book, but
Yeah.
um, they did not buy and sell during their pilgrimage.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah. I just want to know if you can read it.
All right.
Okay. This is from the book Al Yaqubi, uh, a Muslim historian. Let me see here. Now you can see the works of Ibn Wadi Al Yaqubi. Okay, and this is a Islam historian who lived in the, I believe, 892 AD, near the 9th century AD, and this is before 600, some 700 years before uh, Timbuktu, and a little bit after the Islamic invasion of Egypt and North Africa, and uh, and we know that the conversion of West Africans to Islam took place somewhere in the 10th century, 11th century AD, when the Almoravids invaded West Africa, or the Sudan, and that's when we start to see that the king of Mali and in West Africa converted their people to Islam, and that's when that, and that is the time when West Africa first came into contact with Islam. But this is speaking on, now we know in the 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 writers in Timbuktu, when they write in their records, they say that their ancestors came from Yemen, and they were like from the Himyarite tribe, who was a Jewish tribe. And this is where the Israelites, where they try to say, well, like the brother Gideon, and some of the other Israelites, they try to say that the founders of the Ghana Empire in West Africa were Jews from Yemen. Okay, and they try to make it seem as if the migration was ancient, or it was pre-Islamic, but it was not. Okay, and this is a historical reality of things, because Al Yaqubi, yeah, was a Muslim historian, okay, from Iraq or Iran, or and he died in Egypt, and he's writing a history of Yemen, okay. But and this is the works of Al Yaqubi, volume 2, page 581, okay, and it says, in quote, then, okay, it says, these are the two religions. Yeah, these are the two religious laws that the Arabs followed. Then some of the Arabs entered the religion of the Jews and left this religion, and others entered Christianity. Some of them became Zindikis and followed dualism. As for those of them who became Jewish, they were in Yemen in its entirety. Tuba, which is the king of Yemen, brought two Jewish rabbis to Yemen and abolished the idols in and abolished the idols, and the inhabitants of Yemen became Jewish. After their departure from Yemen, some of the Auls in some of the Auls in Khazraj also became Jews due to their living as neighbors of the Jews of Kebar. The Kurazah and the Nadir, some of the Banu, the Harith, the Kab, and some of the Gassin, and some of the Judam also became Jewish. Now, this is speaking on how the Arabs became Jewish. And it says here, the Tuba brought two Jewish rabbis to Yemen, abolished the idols, and the inhabitants of Yemen became Jewish. So this is the earliest account in the 8th century AD of Arabs becoming Jewish. Okay, and this is where you get your Jews. This is the origin of your Jews in Yemen. Okay, and this is how it reached West Africa. It reached West Africa due to the Islamic invasion of Africa, and due to the migration of Arabs and convert Jews from Morocco and in that area migrating south into the land of the Sudan, or what we know as West Africa. And it was during this time that Jews, okay, these Jews, these convert Jews, converted Africans into Jewish. So it's like converts converting converts. That's all it is. Okay, and also and we from here, okay, I'm gonna read this right quick. Okay, yeah, because they like to speak on these people called the Lamb. Okay, that was also mentioned by Al Idrisi, another Arab writer, writing in the Arab language. Okay, and it says here, where is that at? Yeah. Okay, it says here. Let me blow it up some. Okay. Where is that? Oh man, come on. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It says here. It mentions the lamb. Okay. The lamb. Okay. It says the inhabitants. According to the accounts of the people of the neighboring country, the natives of Lamb are Jews. The greater part of them are plunged in ignorance and unbelief. Now we see here the writer is calling them Jews, but at the same time, he's admitting that they're not real Jews because their ways and customs is that of the pagan. They're unbelievers. So they were like unbelievers or pagans who supposedly adopted the Jewish identity. So it's right. It's saying right off the bat that they were converts. They were not real Jews because the real Jews they were never unbelievers or pagans. So it's saying it's admitting that these people were pagans, or they were unbelievers, or what we call infidels, who adopted the Jewish identity. And then it goes on to say here, okay, where is it? Okay, yeah, and it goes on to say here, okay, I'm just going to show what was going on with these people. Come on, where is it? Where is it? Okay. Yeah, there we go. And it says here, it's talking about the lamb. The people of the neighboring countries seize upon them at all seasons by various artifices, carry them away to their own country, and sell them in strings to the merchants. Vast numbers of them are brought every year to the farther west, meaning the El Maghrib Al Akasa. Now, the farther west is referring to Morocco in the north, in North Africa. That's what they call Morocco. They called it the farther west, the El Maghrib Al Akasa. So it's saying here that these people were being taken from West Africa to Sudan and being shipped north, okay, across the desert to North Africa in Morocco. And it says, look, and it says vast numbers of them are brought every year to the farther west. Okay, this took place during the trans-Saharan slave trade. Okay, and we see vast numbers of them were brought every year to the farthest west. Now we know by the time of the Atlantic slave trade, we hear no more of these people called lamb. They didn't exist because Al Idris is telling you that they were taken to Morocco, and we find out here. Okay, then I'm going to wrap it up here. Okay, we find out here from this is from Leo Africanus. Okay, let's see here. Well, where is it? Where is it? Okay, yeah, okay, page 27. Okay, and this is from John Leo or Leo Africanus, his first book of the description of Africa and of the memorable things certain therein. Okay, Now we're going to go down here to page 27. Okay, page 27. Okay, and it says here, let's see here. Now, we blow it up a little bit more. Okay, page 27 says, of the faith and religion of the ancient Africans and Moors. It says the ancient Africans were much addicted to idolatry, even as certain of the Persians are this day, some of whom worship the sun, others the fire, for their gods, for their gods. Okay. For the said Africans had in times past magnificent and most stately temples built and dedicated, as well to the honor of the sun as of the fire. Okay, when it says the temples, it's probably referring to Kemet, you know, but it's talking about the people of North Africa, Morocco, and West Africa. Here, okay, it says here. I'm going to skip it to here, and it says right here. Okay, some others of the land of the Negroes worship Gigamo, that is to say, the Lord of the heaven. And this sound point of religion was not delivered unto them by any prophet or teacher, but was inspired, as it were, from God himself. After that, they embraced the Irish or the Jewish law, wherein they said to have continued for many years. Afterward, they professed the Christian religion and continued Christians until such time as the Mohammedan superstitions prevailed, okay, which came to pass in the year of the Hijra 208, okay, yeah, which is after Muhammad, okay, about which time certain of Muhammad's disciples so bewitched them with eloquent and deceivable speeches. So it's saying here that the Negroes in West Africa and the people of Morocco, okay, said they embraced the Jewish law. Then it said came Christianity. Then came Mohammedans or Islam. So it's showing you that Jews, to be a Jew is it's not an identity. It's a religion. It's calling them Negroes. You can't, and you have some of the Israelites that they will sit up there and say, well, the Jews came into Africa and lost their identity. But we see here that you can't convert from a Jew to a Negro. It's saying here that the Negroes converted to Jews. So Negro is not a religion, but Judaism or being a Jew is the same. It's synonymous with Christianity and Islam. It's a religion. It's not a genealogy. It's not an identity. It's a religion. It can't go the other way around. So yeah, and this is according to Leo Africanus, who lived during the 1490 AD, close to the 1500s AD, during the same time as the Timbuktu Empire was thriving, during the time of the Timbuktu Empire. Actually, he even visited Timbuktu. And this was even before the Tariq al-Sudan and the Tariq al-Fatah with the records from Timbuktu. But it's showing you that Jewish is a religion. See, look, after that, they embraced the Jewish law, wherein they to have continued many years. Afterward, they professed the Christian religion and continued Christians until such time the Mohammedan superstition prevailed. So it's telling you, Judaism, being a Jew, is a religion. Being a Christian is a religion. It's the same. Islam, a religion. Okay? Don't sit up here and tell me that Jews went into Africa and lost their Jewish identity when we clearly see that you can't come into Africa as a Jew and convert to being an African. It's the other way around. The Jews came into Africa and converted the Africans. You can only convert from being an African to a Jew. Okay, being an African, being a Negro, it's not a religion. That is what these people were called. The religion is Judaism, Mohammedanism, Islam, Christianity, all the same, all religions. So you can't sit up here. It is wrong for anybody to sit up here and say that they are a bloodline descendant of a Jew or real Jew. It don't exist. And this is talking about Jews. Okay, and we and I just want to show also here. Okay, and even these these so-called these convert Jews, they were never the slaves. Look at what they call the slaves. Okay. Oh man. Let's see here. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to take up too much time. But yeah. Um yeah, but I want to see here. Oh man. Yeah, but they called I hope I still got it on. Okay. No, it's not on there. Okay. Just give me a minute. Because this is very important. Yeah, but I'm just going to show that these Jews were never the slaves, and they were distinguished from the slaves. I'm going to show you. Let's go to the table of contents here. Okay. Okay. Then we're going to go down to book 7. Just want to get to this real quick. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let me see here. I'm just going to show you who the slaves were.
All right.
Where is it? Where is it? Okay. Yeah, because this is this book is written in old English,
Yeah.
so it's kind of hard to read it as the new English. But let's see here. Okay, hold on. Wow. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, but it's and it even it says that the people had the Jews had slaves from the Negroes. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Where is it? Where is it? There we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that is slaves written in Old English. Let me see here. Um,
Yeah, they have the U instead of the V.
yeah. It's like it's it looks like a U, but it's actually a V.
It's the V, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna do this. Okay. Negro slaves. There we go.
Well, even like Yon, it's not spelled John, but it's a I instead of
Yeah,
a
yeah,
J. Yeah. And
yeah. It's
soon the right there is written like Soone.
Yeah, yeah. That's the old English, man. 1700s, 1800s. Yeah. Okay. And it says here. Okay. Um. Yeah. Where is it? Okay. And this is talking about the Jews in Morocco as well. I know I got an account like that. Okay. Real quick. It says, and it's referring to the people of. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through all that. Yeah, but it says all the maidservants in the king's families are Negro slaves, which are partly chamberlains and partly waiting maids. And yet his queen is always of white skin. Likewise, the king of Fez is talking about Morocco. Fez is in Morocco. His court are certain Christian captives, being partly Spanish and partly Portugal women, who are most circumspectively kept by certain eunuchs that are Negro slaves. Okay, so it's saying here that Leo Africanus constantly calls the Negroes slaves. Okay, Negro slaves. Okay, yeah, and this is talking about a town of the Jews, but we see um, all the the slaves are always called Negroes. They're never called Jews. Okay, and it just goes to show you that even these so-called Jews, these converts, they were never slaves in Africa. The slaves are always the Negroes. But yeah, I'm going to stop it there. Um, yeah, yeah, but I just want to show that because these Hebrew Israelites, they always talking about, you know, well, what about the ancient records, the old records, and you know, they don't believe in the old records, you know, because they lie about that, you know, and it really serves no purpose for them to even speak on anything because they can't tell the truth about anything. Okay, so it's best for them to just sit back, you know, zip it, be quiet, and let those who are and let us who are honest teach this truth. Okay, but yeah, I just wanted to show that you know even before Timbuktu, you know the records in Timbuktu that try to say that they came from Yemen. It all goes back to the you know it all goes back to the 8th century, 7th century A.D. in Yemen of Jews of Arabs descending from Jews. I mean, becoming Jews or becoming converts. So there was never such a thing of a real Jew, you know, converting another Jew. It was it was always a convert Jew converting another convert after convert. Never, no such thing as a real Jew. Okay, and to make it even worse, I mean, you can't even prove Israelite. You know, but we know that these people called Jews, all Jews were converts. Okay, and it says that you know that the Jews that were taken from Judah, the real Judah in Palestine, you know, they were taken to Babylon. So, and then from there they converted everyone else to being a Jew. Okay, so pretty much if you don't come from Babylon, you can't be a real Jew. So I mean, you come from West Africa, you're definitely not a real Jew. You know, so even the Jews in Italy, you had Jews in Italy, you had Jews in Spain, you know, you had Jews in Egypt, you know, all converts. No such thing as a real Jew. Okay, and on top of that, what I just read is from the Arabic language, not the Hebrew. So you're claiming to be, if you're claiming these Jews, you're claiming to be uh, an Arab Jew. You know, because if you're gonna claim Jew or biblical Jew, you know, you have to show it from at least show it from the Hebrew. You know, you can't even do that. You know, and all this stuff is written in the Arabic language, and it is written way after you know the so-called Babylonian exile. So you know, so we see the truth here when you get into the history and the origin of things. See, because what these guys like to do, you know, they just like to say things, you know, and read certain quotes that fits their agenda, and then they ignore or have no knowledge of the origin of it. You know,
Yeah.
they don't go how this Jewish identity was established. And we know that the records in Timbuktu that says that speak of this migration from Yemen to West Africa, it's mythical, it's late, you know, it's folklore. The names that they mention can't be identified historically, but we know the historical reality was the Arab invasion of Africa. And these people and some of these Arabs who came into Africa were most likely these Jews from Yemen. That's the reality of it. Okay, and we know that these people were never the slaves, but they were the people uh, capturing the slaves. They were the slave catchers, never the slaves. Okay, so you can't claim them. Okay, and that is the historical reality behind the whole thing. Okay, even when we deal with Timbuktu. Okay, even if some of these men of high rank who were living in Timbuktu who claim to be of Jewish identity, guess what? They were capturing slaves. They were never the slaves. They saw the slaves as pagans, infidels, non-Jewish, non-Christian, unbelievers. Okay? So you can't be a Jew, a Christian, in a Mohammedan or a believer and be a slave at the same time, because the two don't mix. The believers, okay, the Jews, the Christians, the Islamists or the Muslims, they were the one capturing the slaves. They saw the slaves as non-Jewish, non-Christian, non-Islamic. So it makes no sense for the slaves to be the people of the book, because it was the people of the book, or the people who claimed the book, capturing the slaves. They saw the slaves as the people, the people of the non-people of the book. They saw the slaves as the lowest of low. They no belief, did not believe in, no belief in Yahweh, no belief in Allah, no belief in Jesus Christ. The slaves were anti all of that. That's what you have to understand. Okay? So it makes no sense. And that's why a lot of the slaves, when they were brought to America, they were converted to Christians. How are you going to convert the people of the book to the people of the book? You can't already be the people of the book and be converted to the people of the book. you know, and that is the reality here.
You
Okay.
have a case of identity crisis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that is the reality here, man. I mean, and like even the guys who started this Hebrew Israelite identity, uh Frank Cherry or William Frank Cherry or something like that, they were converts. So that's what you have to understand. Okay, that's why you have to know the history. Okay, this Jewish identity is not found in West Africa until the time of the Arabs, until the 10th century. That's the earliest you can go. You can't go no further than that. You can't go no further than that.
Now, the 10th century BC is the you can what is that date about that you can go further than that? What can you
No,
come
no, no,
again?
no, 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 no. The 10th century AD.
Oh, AD. Okay.
Yeah, not BC.
Okay. Because
The
I
10th
was thinking
century
about the Hebrew
AD.
language. It's about the date where
Yeah,
that's about how
yeah.
much it goes back. Okay, 8.
Yeah, the 10th century AD with the writer, the Arab writer Al-Idrisi. This is the first time, these people, Jews, are mentioned in West Africa. Okay, and even the first time where slaves are mentioned in West Africa is from the writer Al-Yaqubi, and he calls them Sudan. He never calls them Jews. He calls them Sudan, you know. And but yeah, like first century AD, BC, in it, no Jews in West Africa. All this came about with the Arabs, with the Arab invasion of Africa. That shows you where it came from. Okay, now you can read, folk tales, fairy tales, stories, all you want. Okay, but until you recognize and realize the historical reality of these things, then you'll never understand. You know, you have to know when these people came to Africa, who, what is the source that first connects, uh, that first places Jews in West Africa. Okay, nope, not the Bible. Okay, not Herodotus, not Strabo or any first century um historian writer. No, 10th century AD Arabs. Okay, that is your first mention of Jews in West Africa. And guess what? They were not the slaves. So we see here that the slaves were not Jews by lineage, nor they were Jews by belief or religion. They had absolutely zero Jewish in them. They were not converts, and they were definitely not real bloodline Jews. That is a historical reality of all this. Okay? And they called them Negroes. They didn't call themselves Negroes, but that's what the Europeans called them. And Negro does not mean Jew. Two separate people. You know, and I just showed that Jew is a religion. Okay? No different from Christianity, no different from Islam.
Brother.
So yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to show, because these guys, man, they keep those things covered.
Yes.
Or they either don't know at all, and
I don't even
yeah,
think they're trying to know.
yeah,
They're so deep in their belief, like anything else doesn't matter much. And
yeah,
it is a bit sad. Some of them, they try to quote some authors that deal with history and quote some artifacts. They're trying, but some, some really they don't even them. And actually, I don't know if I should say it's half or more. I'm sorry, half or the majority of Abrahamic believers, but there's a fair bit who just don't give a damn. If you talk about history, it's almost as history is a pagan religion, you know. But anyway, brother, I'm gonna let
yeah,
you make your
exactly,
closing remarks. Brother Chris has left,
yeah,
and I really apologize if maybe sometimes my eyes were closing because lately, for the last few days, I did not really have much sleep, but I
yeah.
was definitely, listening. So feel free to make your closing remarks, brother Radio One.
Yes, yes, yes. Just want to say peace, Shaka. Yeah, you know, um, get into the historical reality of these things, man. Know the etymology of these words, because there's a lot of guys, they're going around and they're hijacking these words, and Egypt, Ethiopia, whatever. They hijacking these words from the original records they come from, and they're just making up lies, and making it something that it's not. And that's why, you know, um, do your study, be honest, and you know, tell the truth about these things. Because when you like the Hebrew Israelites, they really think they're on to something when they go to like a 9th century AD or 10th century AD source, like this Eldad the Danite. And I tell them that's fake, man. I mean, It's invalid. It's a whole different time period, a whole different language. And when you entertain that and try to accept that, you're no different from the white man that you're saying that's lying about you. And it makes no sense. Like, I know that they say a lot of information is getting out, but come on, people. Some things we just gotta we gotta reject. We can't accept it as truth. We gotta throw it in the garbage. If it's late, and not original, come on. You making yourself look bad. I mean, you might as well just say, no, I don't know. I'm not. I don't know any of that. I don't accept any of that. But when you resort to pseudoism and falsehood, that makes you look real bad. And showing Jews in West Africa in the 10th century, 15th century, 17th century AD proves nothing. Okay? But truth is, your ancestors were never the Jews. They were the Negro slaves who were being taken into slavery by these so-called Jews, Muslims, Christians, and people of the book. It was the Muslims, the Christians, and the Jews against our slave ancestors in West Africa, who they call pagans. That is the historical reality. Okay? You were never the people of the book. It was the people of the book who sold you into slavery. Okay, the people who brought the book into Africa were your slave masters and your slave catchers. You were never the people of the book. You were the slaves. You were the enemies of the people of the book. Yeah, and with that said, brother, it's gonna close out. They don't want to be too long-winded, but yeah, peace, Shaka.
Peace, brother.
Yeah, and just keep getting this truth out, man. It's this subject must be entertained. We can't sit back and let the lies, and let the lies prevail.
Yeah.
Everything must be challenged. Everything must be debunked. And the truth must be told, no matter what.
At all costs.
At all costs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we know that the Hebrew Israelites, they ain't gonna tell it, and that's why brothers like myself, brothers like you, and brothers like Chris Harris, are here to tell it, because even if they know it, they're not gonna tell it, because we know that their intention is to be dishonest and be liars, and that is why we are here to tell it. But yeah, peace out, brother. And
peace, brother Radio One. Hoteps and E. Thank you very much for stopping by. So, brothers and sisters, I'm going to close this out. I really need to get some rest because the accumulation, sometimes you're all right, but after a few days where you don't have much sleep, but I'm very happy, about the people, who participate in the chat, the people who call in, people who leave comments, people hit the like button, people share the information, and thank you for all the words of encouragement. And we're gonna get some clarity. No, we have no other choice, no other option than getting some clarity. So stay safe, stay healthy, and I don't argue. I state facts. Do I do any tiru? If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Hotel.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving Medu Neter classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video Kemet and Ma'at before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Medu Neter class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Medu Neter lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Medu Neter, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody is interested in learning the Medu Neter, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Neter classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in-depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class. And all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Neter class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/Ma'at Forever.